I've had a shit day. This isn't a bit. I really have had a terrible day. The air compressor in my car broke, so my car is spewing out magma air in this summer heat. And then my phone had to get upgraded and messed up a bunch of crap. All the apps are messed up. The phone number's wrong. Had to be on the phone with my phone provider for like hours. I have to go to the DMV because the registration of my car's expired. I didn't realize it. Ah! Hey, if you want to help a friend out, subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/MatthewDonald. There you can find bonus content for Paleobites, like where we discuss pop culture featuring prehistoric animals. And this month we're talking about Walking with Dinosaurs. Yeah! The classic 1999 BBC documentary. Classic. I said classic twice. It's because I've had a crap day. My brain is just spaghetti and ants. Trying to turn these turd nuggets into gold nuggets, or however the saying goes. So subscribe to my Patreon. Link is in the description. Thank you for your support. Have a good day. Certainly a better day than I have.
Roar, growl, snarl, bellow.
Welcome to Paleobites, the podcast where iguanodons become iguanodonts. My name's Matthew Dahl, and each week, that's a joke you only can laugh at because you've drank a little bit.
No.
My name's Matthew Donald, and each week I, in a rotating series of guest co-hosts, talk about and rate a genus of prehistoric animal, be it dinosaur, mammal, arthropod, and so on. This week I'm joined by someone who is very much an iguanodoo rather than iguanodont.
Sure.
or not iguanodon. It's Lexi Ryan.
Sure.
How are you?
I think I'm good. Are we trying to gender it? Is that what we're saying? Like iguana?
No, I'm just saying it does or it doesn't.
Oh, it does or doesn't? Because it's also like, you know, with conjugation or not conjugation in Spanish, you have like
Conjugated. Never even kissed a girl.
you know how it's like it starts with an A if it's female and starts with an O if it's
Yeah, or ends
male.
in A or O. Yeah, like Spanish.
Yeah. So this one is
Iguanodont.
it would be
Iguanodon, I mean.
iguana.
It doesn't end. It's a bad joke.
Iguanada.
Iguanodon.
Sure.
Oh,
that's me.
That's Russian.
That's me, lizard lady.
It's
me.
Russian Dawes, yes.
Da.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's German.
Danke.
That's
German for thank you.
Oh really? Oh, it is? I was gonna say
Danke.
it sounds like Donkey Kong, sort of. It's like his
I don't know if I guess I haven't played that long enough.
What is that one? What is that that floating tribal mask in Crash Bandicoot that's probably pretty racist?
It's like dum, dum, dum. I don't know what it's called. Yeah,
it's probably really racist in hindsight, but it's very fun.
It was made in like the 90s, so probably, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, what's his name? Abu Abu.
Yeah, something.
Aku.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I totally know what you're talking about, but I remember the name.
Yeah, it's like the floating. It's like,
it has like feathers.
Yeah. Cool. Anyways. So
what dinosaur are we talking about?
We're talking
today?
about Massachusetts dinosaur because you fled the country. By the country, I mean Colorado.
Yes, the great nation of Colorado.
Right, and to go to Boston. But, you know, Boston's pretty good, though.
Bostonian.
So,
history. Paul Revere.
Yeah.
Midnight Ride. Lobsters.
Which is like, people are like, oh, that's one of those stories that you hear about. That it sounds so romanticized, but it really isn't that impressive. The redcoats are coming or whatever.
I don't know if it's not impressive. It's not. I think it's just a dude figured out they were coming, and then he grabbed a lantern and rode through the city and was like, "Oh my god!" You know, like everybody.
Well, it's like the redcoats are coming because they were all technically British at the time. So saying the British are coming. Well, yeah, he's coming because they were all still British at the time.
If we want to get technical, but yeah, no, it's
like all those stories that depict, you know, the British versus the revolutionaries, and it's like the revolution, like George Washington has like an American accent, while the British are British. Like, they all have British accents.
Everyone was British.
Yeah. So.
We all used to talk a bit British. Well, this is a bit Cockney.
Also,
George Washington probably talked much more properly.
He was probably more posh. Yeah.
More posh, yes, as a president should be. Although he did have many fake teeth.
That's true, wooden teeth.
Yeah,
and owned a bunch of slaves.
Did you know one of the only teeth he didn't have was wooden?
Only one? What?
It's true.
So like the only teeth.
Common misconception. He had many other types of.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Things in his mouth, but wood was not one of them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I was confused. Like the only tooth he didn't.
Almost everybody. Yeah, I said that weird. Almost everybody thinks that he had wooden teeth. Yeah, something. He had like a bunch of different types of teeth. No wooden.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Wooden teeth.
I learned that at a bar
gross.
trivia once. Holla.
Glass teeth.
But anyway, yeah.
Yeah,
You can see Paul Revere buried in Massachusetts.
I mean,
actually,
that's pretty cool.
one of my favorite things on it. I took a tour, and on this tour, you drive by a bar
Yeah.
that's facing the cemetery where Paul Revere is,
Okay.
and Sam Adams is there.
Yeah.
And the tour guide goes, "It's the only place in the world where you can have a cold Sam Adams while looking across at a cold Sam Adams."
I feel like
Get it? The beer?
yes, I get it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I feel like robbing Paul Revere's grave is what they're gonna do in the next installment of National Treasure whenever they get that.
Well, speaking of things buried underground.
Yeah, of course. We're talking about something buried in Massachusetts too. We're talking about Podokesaurus, I think. Podunkus.
Podunkus.
It means swift-footed lizard. Sure, okay.
Are we doing a fact this time? Should we, or not a fact? Question?
I mean, we kind of were getting.
Okay.
We do questions.
We talk enough about Sam Adams.
Yeah, like
and Paul
we do
Revere.
a question sometimes, or sometimes we ramble too much and we don't do a question. That's not just anyone. It's like a question is just kind of to pad out the episode a little bit.
I am a excellent rambler.
Yeah,
yes.
Everyone is you're one of the best.
Yes,
but Laura is probably the best. We ramble so
my
much.
My rival.
Nah, she's pretty good. You guys would get along pretty well.
Okay, Podonkosaurus.
Podonkosaurus. It had big badonkadonks.
Yeah, that's what it makes me think of too. What a badonkadonkasaur, man.
Okay, badonkadonks I'm assuming is boobs, but could it also
I think
be...
a badonkadonk's a booty.
Yeah, a booty. Oh, okay.
Like, oh, look at that badonkadonk.
Oh,
it's like
true.
a badonkadonk, so I think it's a booty.
Okay, it is a booty. So, okay.
So this dinosaur's got a big old booty.
Yeah, but then has a tail. How's that work?
You can have both.
I guess that's true.
I mean,
the cheeks go above the tail.
The cheeks go above the tail, exactly.
So, okay.
Or the booty is at the end of the tail.
What? No, okay, that I'm going to blame on the trip.
I just have an interesting imagination.
That you do, and I've learned.
Maybe
that.
yours
I've
is
known
too
you
limited.
for 13 years, and your imagination still surprises me sometimes.
My booty's at the end of my tail.
Sure.
I'm a Podonkosaurus.
Yeah, you are a Podokesaurus. It's a coelophysid theropod, a group of meat-eating dinosaurs that include some of the earliest dinosaurs. Remember Pendraig? This is basically that. Yeah, this is basically that again.
The Welsh.
The Welsh one. This is like
Welsh, but the Welsh guy was a little guy.
Right, and this is also a little guy.
We got another
3.6 feet / 1.1 meters long, 2.2 pounds or 1 kilogram. Apparently, the only fossil we have of this thing was a mere 7 inches long, but it's been confirmed to be a juvenile, though. So.
Okay, I wonder how they could tell.
Based on like how the bone structure is, and also
is it like humans when you have like more bones when you're a baby?
Yeah, more bones, but also like you can tell like how old it is, but like sort of like with trees.
Oh, like
yeah.
I used to know carbon dating.
Yeah, something like that. Well, like the carbon dating is more like how we figure out the rocks, I guess.
Oh,
too.
I see.
Like because like that's how we know how the rocks are.
But,
and I'm gonna get
fossils are rocks.
Well, no, they are. I guess that is true. Yeah, so it's like isotope dating in that regard because the carbon's kind of mostly gone at this point.
Gotcha.
Or maybe it is. I don't know.
I'm no scientist.
Well, I'm going to talk about like rock formations here because it's actually pretty important with this one. So it was a carnivore, lived in the early Jurassic, 191 to 189 million years ago. It was from Massachusetts, USA.
Go Sox.
Yeah. Sure.
Red Sox.
Red Sox as opposed to the White Sox.
But they say Red Sox, but it's Sox. Go Sox.
What about the White Sox in Chicago?
The White Sox? Screw the White Sox.
It's the Red Sox, yeah.
It's a Go Sox. This is a Massachusetts dinosaur, so they would love the Red Sox. End of discussion.
It just makes me think of Godzilla King of the Monsters when the final fight in that movie, for whatever reason, is in Boston.
Is it the one with Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think we saw that one together.
Yeah. Because it's in Boston. The final fight of that movie is in Boston.
Yeah, see, things I never realized would become more relevant in my life.
Well, that's just a weird... I mean, I'm glad, because like rather than them fighting in New York or L.A. or...
Yeah, Boston's the B to New York's A.
Yeah.
So,
and then like because it had to destroy some sort of monuments, King Ghidorah, the three-headed dragon, I think crushes a Dunkin' Donuts billboard.
That makes sense.
So
Dunks.
So yeah.
And actually, it is now just Dunkin'. They have dropped the donuts from their name. Yeah, you idiot.
Padunkadunk. Idiots. How are we supposed to know what they serve now? It could be Dunkin' chicken fingers. It could be Dunkin'.
That's true. You do dunk a lot of things, but Massachusetts.
Dunkin' lobsters.
Oh my god, I don't know how to say Massachusetts.
I don't know how to spell it.
I know how to say Bostonians.
Bostonians.
But if I'm from Massachusetts, do I say Massachusetts?
Massachusetts.
I'm going to say that for
now. The citizen of the city of Massachusetts.
That's so long. Okay, I'm one of those.
A Massite, a Massachusetts.
Okay, so this I keep wanting to say podunk now.
It's Podokesaurus. Podokesaurus.
Podoke, yeah.
Podokesaurus.
Podunk is funnier.
Podunkadunk. Yeah, we can just call it Podunkadunk.
This Podunkadunkasaur.
Yeah, the one with the booty or the boobs or the penis. I don't know. I feel like that could be any of those things.
I love that it has Dunk in the name because of Dunkin' Donuts.
It doesn't have Dunkin', it has Doke.
Because of Dunkin'.
Yeah,
oh, fine.
But
yeah, right.
you can in Europe you can say maybe it comes from the same etymology. It means swift-footed lizard. So maybe when you have Dunkin' Donuts, you're swift-footed.
I doubt it.
You're swift-footed to go to Dunkin' Donuts. Afterwards, you're very slow-footed.
Yeah. Where or when?
It was described in 1911. Pop culture appearances, particularly any documentary or game featuring coelophysis, is a good chance this is actually a synonym of that.
Okay, so this is one of the dinosaurs that someone discovered, and then later someone was like, this might be the same thing.
Right. We'll see. Okay. All right, so the majority of the dinosaurs we know from the United States are from the western side of the country. Due to some geological shenanigans, the rock formations on that side of the continent are better preserved and have been pushed upwards from other tectonic plates underneath. The main perpetrator, though, is the formation of the subcontinent of Appalachia. So in the late Cretaceous, high sea levels meant the North American continent was split in two, with the Middle Sea being called the Western Interior Seaway, and that's where all my co-hosts Lexi's favorite creatures, the mosasaurs, live.
No, thank you.
That's why you find mosasaur fossils in Kansas. So
no, thank you. I was born in Kansas. Oh no,
they were there just 90 million years earlier.
It's too soon.
The Western subcontinent was called Laramidia, and that's where all the dinosaurs like T-Rex and Triceratops and whatever, like all those famous ones. Fossils there are all over the place, with the exception of the furthest west portions like California, where erosion and lack of deposited sediments required for preserving rock formations. They hamper the geological material, but that's what happened on the eastern side, because in the eastern subcontinent, Appalachia, millions of years of erosion from both wind and glaciers from the Ice Age pretty much removed almost all the sediments that would hold fossils. So that's why fossils on the eastern side of North America are so rare.
Interesting.
So now
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah. So now, if you've been paying attention, and suspect most listeners have not, because we're too infuriated by the constant ramblings about Podunkadunks or whatever, or Dunkin' Donuts, or I don't know, whatever,
or whatever we ramble about, really.
Which is pretty much anything, honestly. Anything goes at this point. You might remember that good old Podokesaurus is from far earlier than the late Cretaceous or the Ice Age, and is instead from the early Jurassic. So you might wonder how this is related. Well, because time is linear and sediment removal can happen whenever and remove all traces of everything that came before. Any hypothetical fossils in the Yucatan and Mexico are dating back prior to 65 million years, because all fossils we find in that area are from later.
Okay.
Because anything earlier would have been incinerated by that meteor.
Yeah. Okay.
So
makes sense.
Like one time I was looking up from my Megazoic books, because I was the city of Telekis, the capital city of the Laurasian Empire, is in the Yucatan. And I was like, wonder what kind of plants would be there at that time so I can decorate the city in my head. And I'm like, well, any plant fossils from that time? Gone.
None. Wow.
Because
yeah.
Obliterated. And that's the thing about these fossils, like they were there for so long. It's kind of weird to think about the Stegosaurus fossils that we found in the 1800s. They were there all afterwards too, like T-Rex fossils.
So
when T-Rex was there alive, there were Stegosaurus fossils.
So one could make the argument that these fossils are potentially they are rarer.
Yes, they're much rarer.
So they might be more expensive.
Yeah, well, if you want to put a price on it.
I always want to put a price on it.
You capitalists.
Yeah. How am I supposed to know how valuable it is? This will go towards, we rate it at the end of the episode, and if it's a rare boy, then yeah.
Oh, monetary, man, financial value. It's so man-made. People are like, let's print $100,000, and like, well, that will devalue the dollar. Like, okay, why don't we just say it doesn't? Because
yeah, money's not. The way money works, especially in this country, isn't great. But even if it's not money, like way back when people didn't have money and they're just trading goods, it's like, you have this fossil that everybody has.
Yes.
You have this fossil that nobody has.
That's true.
All right, that fossil's starting to look pretty cool. Yeah,
that's true. Look like worth a few Podunkadunks.
Or yeah, I'll give you 12 dozen Dunkin' Donuts.
12 dozen Dunkin' Donuts for one Podunkasaurus.
I'll give you 3 for T-Rex and 12 for the Podokesaurus.
Isn't like a Dunkin' Donut like 50 cents? Like, aren't they really cheap?
No, inflation.
Okay, let's say. Okay, so let's see if it's like $1.
I feel like a Dunkin' Donuts is probably like a $2.
So you're saying the fossil of Podokesaurus is
it
worth
was
$24.
A metaphor.
$24. That's like a book could be bought.
It was an example.
I think it's worth far more than that.
Okay, fine. 3 million Dunkin'
Well, not about
Donuts.
that. We might be getting a bit whatever Nicolas Cage bought the Triceratops skull for, whatever
Is that
he has in his house.
that's on par for Nicolas Cage?
Yeah, so
Did you know he already has his grave picked out in New Orleans?
isn't it a pyramid too?
It is a pyramid.
Yeah,
I've been
this.
to it. It's
But
like a big white Illuminati style pyramid.
we're talking about Nicolas Cage again after mentioning the National Treasure thing with Paul Revere's grave.
Perfect.
Yeah,
It's right. Yeah,
it's all connected.
I bet you this is Nicolas Cage's favorite dinosaur.
Podokesaurus. I could see that. He's weird enough that
Yeah,
it wouldn't
he's
be
weird enough.
It wouldn't be a classic.
It wouldn't
one.
be. It wouldn't. It would be something no one's heard of. That sounds maybe like it's made up.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, good old Nick Cage.
Yeah, is he problematic? I don't know.
I don't think he's problematic.
He's just weird.
I think he's just a potentially troubled or very odd individual.
Yeah,
Yep.
I do love that
Well,
episode of Community where Abed tries to figure out, is he a bad actor or a good actor?
Yeah, that
and
one's
he
great.
just can't do it.
And he
goes insane.
He mimics.
Yeah, he mimics one of his speeches. Yeah.
Nick. Oh yeah, like he gets very like right. Yeah, like Nick Cage. Nick Cage. I mean, he did. I guess one could say this is problematic, but I don't necessarily know if it is. He doesn't own it anymore. So actually, there is a famous Madame Laurie Laveau, I believe.
Yeah.
I think that's the right name. Was famous for being in New Orleans, and she was a socialite, but she was also horrible, and she was very racist, and she had slaves, and she would use their blood to keep youthful. So she had like an attic where she would do really horrendous things to these people.
Oh God!
And centuries later, Nicolas Cage bought that property. And he loves New Orleans. He ended up going bankrupt, and it's no longer his property.
Well,
but
okay.
But he did own that property. I don't know if so that is whatever you make of that.
Yeah, yeah. Fascinating story.
Definitely a weirdo.
Anyways, back to his favorite dinosaur though, Podokesaurus.
Yeah, absolutely.
So most of the fossils that we have found there are either from special rock formations that have been managed to survive by either like being pushed up later, or like they're from like amber deposits or other
a Jurassic Park style.
Yeah, or maybe they were washed ashore later or some. There's like because we found a few fossils on this side of and what we found there is very intriguing. But one of them we found is Podokesaurus, a little predator from the early Jurassic that is really not interesting on its own. It's basically like Pendragon again. It's just a little carnivore, but more it's just our knowledge of it is what's interesting about it. I think, like, of how we know of it, and also the fact, here's something that is interesting about it, though, at least in terms of our knowledge of it. It was described and discovered in 1910 by the geologist Mignon, M-I-G-N-O-N. Imgen.
That's what
M-I-G-N-O-N.
M-I-G. So I had I-M confused. Yeah. Oh, you roll with that.
Mignon Talbot, making her the first woman to discover and describe a non-avian dinosaur. It was a lady. Yeah.
Yay, go lady, go!
She was partly the first woman to describe a non-avian dinosaur.
Okay, yeah, this just got some really cool points in my book.
Although apparently this might not technically be true. No, she did. But what I'm saying is she might not have been the first, because according to legend, the teeth of Iguanodon. According to legend, the teeth of Iguanodon, the first dinosaur fossil ever officially described, were found by Mary Ann Mantell in 1822. When her husband Gideon Mantell was visiting a patient.
Interesting.
But Gideon Mantell took the credit because the patriarchy is a real
isn't this also one of the ones? Unless that was the one we last talked about. We last discovered.
You and I.
We discovered a dinosaur about half an hour ago. It was great.
Yeah. Boy, it was hot out there.
But this one you said was kind of already discovered potentially.
Yes.
So, I'm still going to give it to her,
Well, it's like also like the thing is like we don't know if like Mary Ann Mantell in 1822 had discovered it or if it was like that was just a story or whatever. But her husband took all the credit for this.
Yeah. Did that lady discover it on the East Coast?
Yes, Mignon Talbot did 100% discover it.
They're full of legends over there. Even did you know Plymouth Rock is kind of a
teeny little bitty boulder, right?
No, first of all, it's the size of like a giant watermelon. Probably maybe 2 giant watermelons.
Why is that notable?
But what's not notable is if you even go to the museum to read about it, it's basically like someone's grandfather said that he one day saw the Mayflower pull up next to this, and that's the only fact we have
Oh my God.
to relate Plymouth Rock to any sort of significance. It's like this. It's kind of a legend. It's like some old man said
That's
that
ridiculous.
this was important. So,
See, like,
but it's something that you and I, not even being from that side of the nation,
Right.
learn about in school, hear about how important it is.
I know.
Picture it the size of a car. At least me, I pictured it as like ginormous.
I wasn't even sure if it was like an original, like an actual rock. It could have been like a cliff. Like, I imagine like one of those cliffs like Pocahontas.
Yeah, like something that you stand on, like overseeing. No,
no.
It is not, and it has like the date like carved in it almost. So it's kind of.
I don't even think that might. I doubt that's not even the original rock. I think it's. Probably,
I know. I should see it. My best friend out there is from Plymouth. I'll get her take, but way less cool than finding a dinosaur.
Yeah, but no, Ming Talbot. She was officially the first woman to discover and describe a dinosaur.
Okay, well,
so Podokesaurus is
officially
because like the
nice.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Also in 2022, so just last year, Podokesaurus was named the official state dinosaur of Massachusetts. So
no, how fun!
Yeah, so that's Podokesaurus.
Do you know what the state bird is? The middle finger. No, just
kidding.
I was
gonna say the middle finger. Yeah, I was gonna say the Boston.
I have no
Oriole.
idea what it actually was, but when I was driving around there and someone flipped me off because
I've heard New Hampshire.
It's a Mastonian. That's what it is. Mastonians are known for being aggressive drivers, and someone flipped me off, and I even told my mom like,
oh, that's the state bird.
I'm so upset, and she said it's a rite of passage, honey. That's like the state bird there.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that for New Hampshire too.
Really?
Yeah.
New Hampshire's license plates are aggressive. Live free or die. That's their license plates. Yeah.
So try hard, man.
I know.
Oh my God. New Hampshireites. you keep being you, I guess.
That's probably how you say that too. New Hampshire. I'm getting used to all these new states that I haven't been around. New Hampshireites, Vermontonians, Vermontians.
New York has New Yorker. Why is that so easy?
Yeah, New Yorker so easy. Right, Vermonter.
New Yorker here. Bada bang, bing, boom, boom, the jets and stuff. Yeah.
I love it. You're a New Yorker, but you're also from a little bit a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe.
Like, get some coffee, get a bagel.
Get some coffee.
Coffee, yeah.
It's like whatever the accent of, like, I don't know, the mobsters. Well,
Mobsters, yeah. Italiano,
sleeping with the fishes.
Sleeping with the fishes. Bada bing.
Bada bing, boom, boom. Gonna get some pizza.
Pizza. That's more Italian.
There are a lot of Italian immigrants.
There are a lot of. I mean, New York's a.
That's why they love pizza there. It's New York pizza.
New York pizza's too hard for me.
Yeah, you like Chicago pizza?
I like a Chicago. I like a doughy.
Oh, really?
I like
some dough. I don't like thin crust, but I don't want too thick crust.
I like a thin crust. I can go opposites. I can do a thin wood burned like proper Italy.
Yeah.
Or I can go like a Pizza Hut or Domino's, like super thick, deep dish.
Well, I mean,
doughy.
Isn't your dad the one who inflicted the cheese crust on the world?
Inflicted? That is aggressive, sir.
No, I know. Actually,
he did found it from Pizza Hut. That's true, but he, was
honestly, that his idea, or did he? Take it from someone?
I think he probably. I should ask him. I think he probably knew that had been done. But I think his reason, it's actually really fascinating when I don't get to hear him talk about it often, but I went to a conference and he was actually speaking. And he was like, the two biggest challenges at the time was, number one, everyone's throwing away their crust.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's throwing away their crust. What do we do to get them to eat the crust? And the number one request on the pizzas was more cheese. So my dad was like, oh.
Cheese in the crust.
Cheese in the crust. There you go.
No, well. Nope. If anyone likes the Pizza Hut stuffed crust pizza, that Lexi's dad.
That is my pops.
Yep.
But I'm sure someone else in some small mom and pop shop did that long ago.
Oh, I'm sure.
But he commercialized it for the world.
Tom Ryan is the one who gave it credit and put it and
made his
trademark
mark.
sign on it.
Made his
got
mark.
The lawyers.
Yeah.
Yep. Anyways. Let's rate Podunkosaurus. I don't know how to pronounce it for real.
But I'm gonna call it a Podunkosaurus.
Podunkosaurus.
Because that's how I'm jiving with it.
Podunkosaurus.
And I love the fact that this is from Massachusetts because that's where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that it was with a lady found it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this a solid 50.
Oh, nice. 50 million.
Pretty solid. Even though he's kind of an underdog, I always root for the underdog.
Of course. And around this time, it would have. Let's see. I'm trying to think what it would have. Probably could have encountered some Dilophosaurus from Jurassic Park. You know that one, the one with the crest, with the frill,
with the frill that shoots the gunk.
Yeah, although it doesn't do that in real life, but
it didn't.
No,
you're kidding me.
It was far scarier in real life. Actually, it was bigger.
But that's the whole plot point in the first movie where he spits out
that they completely made that up.
There's no dinosaur that spits acid in your face.
I mean, there might be. We can't really.
Matt, you just ruined my dreams.
What did you want to meet?
It's ruined. What would you rate it?
I'd rate it like a 50, maybe like a 49 million.
Okay.
Mainly points because it's.
I get to rate it more because I'm a woman.
Right. That's true. You are allowed to rate it more.
Equality.
Equality. No. All right, so that's it for this week. If you want to get hold of the show, you can contact us at contact me at matt@mathedonCreator.com or at paleobites.podcast@gmail.com. For your questions to any of the co-hosts, if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me at Mathedon on Facebook or 64 everywhere else. What about you?
I am Lexi Tate, Tate 44 on Instagram.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, good stuff you have there.
Good stuff. You can see me. I was going to say brag about my dad, but I rarely post about my dad.
I was going to say, have you ever posted about location?
Every once in a while when he's got a restaurant opening, I'm like, hey, Daddy-o.
I think I remember, when that restaurant in downtown Denver opened.
Literally every day, all I talk about is the fact that he founded the stuffed crust pizza.
It's like, I'm like my father, the inventor of the stuffed crust pizza, would be too pleased to hear about this.
Okay. Oh, now I'm hungry, man.
Oh, now I'm hungry. Well, we can stop after this one.
We'll break after lunch.
Yeah, of course.
After lunch.
After brunch.
Let's break after lunch for another lunch. Sounds good.
Yeah, sounds good. And then after that, just have a bite to eat, maybe.
Yeah. A paleo bite?
Yeah, sure.
Literally, no sugar, all caveman style eating.
That was why I named the show that, among other things, because I thought it'd be funny. People like, oh, this is like a new health podcast now.
Yeah, you're trapping them.
But then also,
dinosaur facts.
Also
interesting.
Also, the fact that each episode's kind of short-ish, so it's like Paleo Bites.
Yeah, no, I figured.
So that's another reason why I call it Paleo Bites. So I thought it was a fun name.
Love it. Love it.
Also, bookstores and Amazon Megazoic available for print and Kindle. There's no Podokesaurus in it because I didn't know of it when I was writing it. Sorry, I'll put it in the next one. Though
it's because it was a ladies' dinosaur.
Yes, and as I'm a staunch
you're the
misogynist
against
the
lady.
Yeah, I'm very much pro patriarchy. That's me. Oh please, oh god, someone's gonna use that against me.
It's a satire.
Yeah, I'm playing a character, guys.
Yeah.
All right, well that's it for this week. We'll see you at the end of every episode of Paleo Bites. The British are coming, or the redcoats are coming.
The booty is coming.
The booty is coming. Oh god.
The badonkadonk.
Now I'm just imagining those British soldiers, but with big badonkadonks as they're marching.
I'm just imagining a giant butt running down the street after Paul Revere.
Sure. He's running away from a fart of the big butt.
Let's pitch it. It'll be a great TV series. Paul Revere and his midnight ride away from the ass on his ass.
How much have you drank? Okay, bye, listeners.